good defense all around.
Yeah, that is the staple of the program in Oxford, led by Yolette McPhee-McEwen, her 7th season as the Rebels head coach, 3 straight 20-win seasons and 3 straight trips to the NCAA tournament. Joni Taylor on the other bench, the head coach of the Texas A&M Aggies. She had him in the NCAA tournament last year. There were some bumps in the road this season in the non-conference portion of the schedule. The Aggies hoping to get on the right side of things, hoping to upset a ranked opponent here at Reed Arena. Number 25, Ole Miss against A&M. We are underway with the Rebels controlling the tip, and an early jumper by Sierra Chinu will miss, but an offensive rebound from Star Jacobs and a putback gives Ole Miss the first 2.
And the Aggies cannot give up offensive rebounds. If they do a good job and hold Ole Miss to 1 shot, they have an opportunity. But if they're going to give up offensive rebounds, it may be a long day.
Soleil Williams running the point for Texas A&M, and Coulibaly got held up, and there's a turnover. That's what Ole Miss creates, that #1 defense in the country, toward the top nationally in turnovers created per game. And now Sierra Chinu cannot finish near the basket, and a rebound to Lauren Ware and the Aggies.
Not only does Ole Miss get turnovers, they typically get points off of turnovers also. Good job by the Aggies by getting back on defense.
Sahara Jones, the veteran, in the starting 5 for A&M today. As you looked at the first 5 on the floor for the Aggies, Sahara Jones over 100 career games at A&M, and she's having a really nice season to go along with that experience.
Really has stepped up, and if you follow Texas A&M, if Sahara Jones touches the basketball, typically good things happen for A&M.
And she'll try a 3-point shot. That's off the front iron, no good. And Tamia Sadler got the rebound off the bounce. Chinu going all the way to the basket. 2-time SEC Freshman of the Week. Got her own. Putback won't fall, and there's Lauren Ware for the rebound. She hit the floor, lost the ball. No whistle. Chinu is firing up some shots early, but has not connected. Loose ball, and Sahara Jones and the Aggies will take it. Starting 5 there for the Ole Miss Rebels. Kennedy Todd Williams was really good in the win over Auburn on Thursday. Conference opener for Ole Miss. Todd Williams, the transfer from North Carolina. Turnaround jumper, Coulibaly, that will miss. Lauren Ware got the offensive board.
Lauren Ware has been very active for Texas A&M since they've come back from the Christmas break. Really been almost a different player for Joni Taylor.
Jones with the shot clock running low to the basket. The Aggies will even it up.
Again, as I said, typically good things happen when Sahara Jones has the basketball for Texas A&M.
She goes for almost 12 points per game, and Jones had 17 on Thursday against Tennessee. That was 1 shy of a career high. Soleil Williams was nearly in the passing lane. 3-pointer will drop. Nice stroke from Tamia Sadler. Colorado transfer, the grad student.
Nice ball movement by Ole Miss right there. Got that extra pass. Sadler just stepped into that pass and knocked down the 3. Aggies just standing around. This is what Joni Taylor does not want. 1 person with the basketball, 4 people standing.
Coulibaly, long range back iron. Wouldn't get it to fall. Madison Scott the rebound, and a pull-up jumper all the way on the other end. Madison Scott did it all. Rebound and a 15-foot jumper on the other side.
Showed you his versatility right there. Kind of went coast to coast from rebound to finish at the other end.
Didn't even need to take it all the way to the basket. The pull-up jumper was good. 5 quick ones for the Rebels. Has them out in front. 3.5 minutes in. Jones trying to get into the key. Rebound was tipped away from Lauren Ware. Coulibaly got it. That popped out. Looked like it was about halfway down and popped out on the short jumper. And turnover by the Rebels will give it back to the Aggies.
Nice hustle by the Aggies. Really worked hard on the offensive boards. Gave him that second shot opportunity. You almost said good basket.
I thought it was falling.
That thing went down.
It did everything but hit the net.
couple of substitutions for Texas A&M. Jada Malone's in the ball game. Erica Moon has checked in, really played very well over these last few games. She's the true point guard of Texas A&M, but with that knee, you see the brace. She's really been on load management. She's just cleared to play so many minutes per quarter.
Erica Moon coming off a nice performance against Tennessee on Thursday. The Aggies also have Jada Malone into the game, and Malone is going to the basket. That's one of the reasons she's 66% from the floor.
Yeah, when your shot chart is basically all next to the basket, you're going to be shooting the ball well, but Jada's able to finish with both hands, and again, playing well in the best shape of her life.
Nice shot to get almost under Jada Malone from Star Jacobs. The defense was good, but kind of scooped up under that block shot attempt to get the basket to fall.
Yeah, I don't think that Ole Miss only wins by defense. They have athletes, and they can score the basket.
Heading toward the midway point of the first quarter. Malone just find her down low. She's going to get up around 70% pretty soon if they keep feeding her down in the paint like they usually do.
Yeah, Jada Malone, a true low post, post player, wants the ball down low. I'm not sure if Ole Miss has a player they can put down there with her.
Good defense again from Malone against Star Jacobs, and this time Jacobs an errant shot. Coulibaly to the other end. No finish. Jones the offensive rebound. She wants to go.
Yep.
Yeah, she wants to get aggressive to the basket, but a pick, a theft by Tamia Sadler. Here come the Rebels to the other end. That's an and one. The basket good by Sierra Chinu, the two-time SEC Freshman of the Week. So going to break, Ole Miss by 5 at our first timeout. And as we come back, you'll get a free throw to try to complete an and one from Sierra Chinu. Aisha Coulibaly there from Bamako, Mali. Sierra Chinu from the same hometown, Bamako, Mali. Two really good players on the floor today from the same hometown in the country of Mali. And they both, Coulibaly and Chinu, played on the national team this summer. Chinu now has a steal and another couple, 14-6 Ole Miss.
That was an unforced turnover. Janae Kent, who's really been playing well for Texas A&M, just gave the ball up for no reason. Nobody was even really guarding her, and they were guarding Erica Moon. That was just too simple.
It's a quick 5-0 spurt for the Rebels. The Aggies were within 9-6. A&M's going to have to get just an errant shot up as quick as they can. It's a violation.
The Aggies, it's almost like Texas A&M right now has read Ole Miss statistics, and they're afraid to even just run their offense because they're not getting into it. Joni Taylor realizing that, going to two substitutes right now. It's got Aaliyah Parker and Amira Shahir Abdur-Rahim at the scorer's table right now.
The jumper for Madison Scott got that to fall.
Madison Scott, a longtime player for this Ole Miss team, has an opportunity to beat one of their long-standing records. Former Texas A&M coach Peggy Gillum has played more games than anybody in the history of Ole Miss women's basketball, and Madison Scott just needs 10 more games to break that record.
Peggy Gillum traveled down here to College Station today with the Ole Miss team. So with her alma mater and in her old gym, Reed Arena, where she was once the head coach. Jada Malone is getting free down low and keeping the Aggies in this game.
Yeah, credit Erica Moon, though, with good vision. They kicked it back out to her. She realized everybody rotated and left Jada wide open down low. Again, Erica Moon really makes things happen when she's on the floor for A&M. Just hasn't gotten an opportunity to play a lot this season.
Nice stroke on the three-pointer from KK Deans, who had 20 points on Thursday in the win over Auburn. Deans was 4 of 7 from behind the arc against the Tigers. Continues to stay hot early in College Station. Long-range jumper by Janae Kent, the LSU transfer. A 19-10 Rebel lead.
KK Deans is one of the best 6 players in this conference.
Now she wanted to go to the basket.
Yeah, part-time starter for Ole Miss. Aggies not spreading the floor. Everybody's just standing around on one side of the floor.
Jones with a pick, got loose enough into the key to get that to drop.
Texas A&M is just one of those teams that typically hangs around because they play you pretty tough defense and can score. Maybe not always looks the prettiest, but they keep scoring and just keep coming at you.
Todd Williams going to the basket, got the layup late in the shot clock. Kennedy Todd Williams, 19 points on Thursday against Auburn, and that went with 8 rebounds. She nearly put up a double-double in the conference opener.
Yeah, Ole Miss really does a good job of moving the basketball and Texas A&M just didn't really do a good job on the closeout. Sahara Jones just a little bit out of control, ran right past Todd Williams, made it too easy. Nobody came from the backside for any help.
So here come those substitutions for A&M. Talia Parker and Amira Abdul-Rahim. Parker inbounded to Soleil Williams, now has it back. Parker's the freshman from Grand Prairie, Texas. Final minute of the first quarter. Steal by the Rebels coming this way. A little 3-on-3 and a foul by Soleil Williams.
You're not going to get a wide open shot if you don't go hard off the screen. They know Ole Miss does such a good job of getting over, fighting over the top of the screens. They're not going to go under, especially against Soleil Williams. And I think Soleil Williams expected to come off that screen and be able to pull that shot off. It wasn't there, and then she panicked a little bit and tried to kick it out to a wing player who was closely guarded. Ole Miss stole it and went the other direction.
So Kennedy Todd Williams will have 2 free throws. And you see there what she did against Auburn. Part of her 19 points, she was 11 of 11 from the free throw line. So this is not who you particularly want to foul. Was that the announcer, Jinx?
Perhaps.
Is that what did it?
Yeah, but then 2 Aggies fighting after the basketball can't come down with it. Abdul-Rahim and Malone knocked it out of each other's hands. Ole Miss retains possession.
Ole Miss has Anaya Thompson in the game. Sadler for 3. That'll miss. Whistle on the offensive rebound. It was grabbed by Christina Awala, and now on the floor for Texas A&M, Amira Abdur-Rahim, the SMU transfer, the grad student.
Jada Malone trying to see if she can get her up, but Amira does look like she's in pain.
It was Jada Malone who was guilty of the foul on the rebound attempt. And there was hard contact.
Looking like it was kind of knee on knee. That's all we can hope is more of a.
And Amira Abdur-Rahim will get help off the floor from the training staff. She'll go backstage for further evaluation.
Well, Texas A&M has done nothing but man this entire ball game. They have shown zones throughout the season.
Yeah, Jada Malone was fouled trying to get that rebound. She was a little upset about it.
Well, part of that is because Jada's down there on a whole, because of the way Ole Miss spread you. I mean, really, Jada's down there by herself. Lauren Ware got there late, but it's more blue jerseys down there than white jerseys, so it gets tough when everybody's starting to swing. And I guess, did they call jump ball out of that?
Is that the call, not a foul? I thought there was a ton of contact.
Yeah, they're still saying Ole Miss has possession.
Well, the Aggies can take the last shot after that was all sorted out. Soleil Williams will do it. That hit the backboard and iron and then skimmed off. It is a 10-point Ole Miss lead at the end of a quarter.
But Peggy, of course, was the coach here from 98 to 2003. I think my picture's I'm probably just a little bit to the right in that huddle.
Yeah.
Of course, that's when I was an assistant coach with Peggy Gillum. But again, two great people. We saw Gary Blair talking to them both earlier. So a lot of fun to see when the greats come back to watch the game.
Yeah. Some greats in the house today. On a Sunday afternoon in College Station, just after the new year. Ole Miss, a strong start. Jada Malone, a strong first quarter. And she now has 8 points. 8 of the Aggies' 14, Tap.
Yeah, Jada Malone can finish with either hand, and that's one of her strengths down low, as she can really move the basketball.
Star Jacobs working against Malone. And a couple of times Jacobs has worked around good defense by Malone to get a basket to drop in. That one off the glass.
Yeah, all the credit right there goes to Star Jacobs. She really found a way to get that ball in. I thought the Aggies had good defensive position.
Taken away in the paint by Anaya Thompson. Aggies with a steal. They're going back the other way. Talia Parker got fouled. I believe it was Ayanna Thompson on the foul there. And Parker will go to the line for 2, but she is on the floor right now.
I think she's just retying the shoe, but that's where Talia Parker's at her best, in the open floor, just trying to create things. Did a nice job. Aggies, I thought, were pretty fortunate not to get a foul called on Aisha Coulibaly at the other end. And then again, Talia Parker takes it coast to coast and has an opportunity to knock down 2 free throws right now.
First free throws the Aggies will shoot this afternoon. If the Aggies can hang in today, Tap, they'll put Ole Miss kind of in foreign territory. The Rebels come in on a 5-game win streak, and all of them are by 27 points or more. The closest of those 5 wins was that conference opener Thursday when they beat Auburn 85-58. If A&M can hang in, keep this thing close throughout the second half, Ole Miss, they really haven't experienced that in about a month. Back on December 5th was when they lost to NC State in the ACC-SEC Challenge. But since then, they just have not been tested at all.
Right, and you know, in Texas A&M proved they were a second-half team the other night. Lauren Ware with a nice block on that penetration.
Yeah, the Aggies found themselves down 22 to Tennessee at halftime on Thursday, stormed back in the second half, got within 10. They really outplayed the Vols over the final 2 quarters. Front iron on a 3-point shot by Lauren Ware.
Now the Aggies are trying to go 4 out, 1 in on offense, and which is great because Jada Malone's the one, but that puts Lauren Ware, because the Aggies have gone big out of the wing, and she tried that 3-pointer.
Dropped in. KK Dean's another three-pointer. Again, she was 4 of 7 from behind the arc against Auburn, picking up where she left off. Ole Miss 3 of 5 from behind the arc. Solid shooting from long range. The left-hander Soleil Williams got that to drop in. Long-range two-pointer.
Came off a little bit harder, but teams also don't expect her when she's going right to pull that shot. Got some space and knocked down that wide-open shot. Kendall Hunter in the ball game now for Texas A&M. Aggies have played all their available players today.
Shot clock running low. Got to put something up. They run out of time, and they did. Violation, and the Aggies will take over. Joni Taylor likes that defense.
Absolutely. She needs something to get this team pumped up and ready to go. And the good news is A&M at the other end. Soleil Williams comes off this screen from Jada Malone, gets a little space, knocks down that jump shot. And then the Aggies come back down and hold them to the shot clock violation at the other end. Joni Taylor's hoping that'll give them some momentum.
A&M tried to get within 7 or even closer. Still a long way to go in this one. 25th ranked Rebels on the road in College Station. An Aggie hit the floor. That was Sahara Jones. I think we're going to get a foul called away from the ball.
Yeah, well, they called Kendall Hunter on that screen. I'm not really sure how it was, but Sahara falling on the floor. Again, it was an interchange right there. Lauren Ware has the basketball. And Kendall Hunter, to me, looked like she held her ground and was set.
Chinu was off balance and got that to fall somehow as she fell past the baseline. Sierra Chino, check this out. As she went down, got the ball up, and it's going to be a chance at a three-point play.
Yeah, that's one of those opportunities for the Texas A&M. If you're going to reach, you better reach in and make sure you get a piece so they don't come. And now Ole Miss looks like they're going to extend the pressure a little bit more and then back off.
After she was fouled, it was almost a no-look shot. I mean, she was flying past the baseline and just heaved that up nearly behind her head. And the three-point play is complete, and Ole Miss takes it back out to a 12-point lead.
Ole Miss just switches it on a lot, especially down low.
Hunter, that's a violation. Didn't hit rim as the shot clock was running down. This is currently Ole Miss's largest lead, the 12-point advantage here midway through the second quarter.
I think Texas A&M's goal right now is just to get this game within about 6 to 8 points going into halftime. But they've got to do a better job, and I know Ole Miss is a good defensive team, but when you don't even try to execute your offense, it makes it easy on them.
Turnaround jumper by Jacobs. She's fouled by Sahara Jones. No, it's Lauren Ware. Lauren Ware the foul, yeah.
Lauren was one-on-one with Star Jacobs, and Jacobs was trying to take her along the baseline, and Lauren just got a little aggressive. I think part of that was frustration on the physicality of the play, so she was going to try to get just as physical as she felt they were, as Ole Miss was.
Ole Miss 4 of 5 from the line so far, and Jacobs will have another one coming. Jacobs is from Dallas and then transferred to Ole Miss from Arkansas Pine Bluff. 3 Texans on this Ole Miss roster.
But all their new players, their first-year players for Ole Miss, all are international players.
That's right. Contact on defense.
They got Chinu as Texas A&M tried the handoff. She kind of got between them and just reached in.
For the ball down low. Jones goes to the basket and she is fouled. Sahara Jones will shoot 2 after the contact by Star Jacobs.
Yeah, but credit Lauren Ware again for working hard trying to get that low post position. So the defense for Ole Miss got concerned about here. Sahara Jones read it, was able to keep the ball all the way to the basket and get herself to the line.
24 Sahara Jones in the line for the Aggies shooting.
Jones almost 12 points per game. Almost 7 rebounds per game. Both of those numbers ranked second on this A&M team. The San Antonio native, I told you earlier, has played in over 100 career games at A&M. That free throw rattled out. Ole Miss ball. On the floor for Ole Miss, Star Jacobs has 8. And Sira Chinu also has 8. Kennedy Todd Williams fouled on her way to the basket. When we come back, the North Carolina transfer will shoot 2. Ole Miss a 13-point lead.
Coach Joe, the Bahamian national team coach.
Yeah.
From the Bahamas.
In her 7th season in Oxford. She was at Jacksonville for 5 years prior to joining the Ole Miss program. And Joni Taylor, as you know, at Georgia prior to coming to A&M, so an SEC veteran. Joni Taylor was a player at Alabama.
If I'm not mistaken, another common denominator is Ross Bjork may have hired both of them.
Good point. I think that's exactly right. Now the athletic director at Ohio State.
Yeah. He's still enjoying football season.
Yeah, it continues for him. Yeah, A&M needs to cut into this by halftime, but that won't help. That Ole Miss defense, they come up with turnovers. That's why they keep so many opponents to a low scoring total. They only allow 47 points per game, allow less than 50 points per game, and they do it with turnovers. They just got another one, trying to convert it into points on this end. Jacobs with 8, trying to get into double figures. Jada Malone, good defense. It's been quite a battle down there. Jacobs on offense against Malone on defense when the Rebels get the ball into the paint.
Yeah, we were talking about the Ole Miss defense. And 2 years ago when Ole Miss beat the Aggies I think scored 38 points for the entire game.
That'll be called a jump ball. Earlier against Jada Malone, we had a controversial jump ball call where it looked like she got fouled, and she doesn't look too pleased with this one either.
That was an awfully quick jump ball. Usually you're going to allow players to kind of battle out of it. Not that, to me, should have been Jada Malone's basketball. That was very quick to make that call.
I agree with you completely. But it's Ole Miss basketball as they try to extend this lead. Blocked shot by Talia Parker.
And there's Talia Parker's athleticism. Really got lost a little bit on the defense. Was trailing and was smart enough to go to the wide side and come from behind and get that right-handed shot blocked.
Stepped on the sidelines, I believe. That is the case.
Aggie showed us something a little different, went a little zone out of the inbounds, and as soon as that ball went to the sideline, they double-teamed that basketball, and that's forced the step on the sidelines.
That was Christine Iwala, who is now in the game for the Rebels, who stepped on the sideline in front of the A&M bench.
Aggies have 10 turnovers in this first half so far.
Yeah, Ole Miss is a +5 in that category. They're one of the best in the country at it. holding on to Chinu. Or was that on Chinu?
No.
Was
that was
a moving pick?
Yeah, that was on Iwala.
They got the moving pick because I thought an Aggie held on to Chinu as she tried to get separation, but that may have been why they had to hold on, because of the moving pick. Yeah, you see the turnovers forced by Ole Miss. They usually cash in with points. Already forcing 10 turnovers in this one today against the Aggies. Williams, step back jumpers, hit a couple of those from long range just in front of the arc today.
And shooting is what Soleil Williams does best. She came in as a 2-guard for Texas A&M. They've had to play her more at the 1 this year. I know she's not as comfortable as she was last year playing the 2, but she's starting to learn how to get her shot out of playing the point guard position.
Steal by Soleil Williams after she makes the shot on one end. Creates the turnover on the other end.
Nice recovery on the switch right there by Soleil. Just went ahead and went on down to where the wide open player was and got in the way.
Now she's fouled and she's going to the line to shoot 2.
You know, I talked about how she's moved from the 2 to the 1, and you see now she's got to create off the dribble a little more. Go fakes left, crossover back to the right, step back as you called it, knocks down that shot.
Both teams have been solid from the free throw line today. A&M as a team, 3 out of 4. Ole Miss on the other side, 7 of 8 from the stripe. Soleil Williams buries that. She'll get another one. Got them both.
Joni Taylor got those hands up. She wants some more moving screens called against the Rebels.
Right in front of her, KK Deans was calling for the ball from behind the arc. Didn't get it, but Chinu's going all the way to the basket.
That might have been a little extra for her. She was kind of one-on-one with Aisha Coulibaly, the 2 national team teammates going at each other.
So Chinu, the freshman, has 10 points, and it's the 10th time this year she's been in double digits. Malone has been fantastic for the Aggies. And now Jada Malone has 10 points.
Well, she's been fantastic, but a lot of that's also been her teammates finding her, too. And again, Aisha Coulibaly with that nice pass. And they could get that a little more often if they'd have the confidence to throw it, because Jada Malone's working hard to get good position down low.
Nice turnaround jumper from Madison Scott.
That's a tough play to guard, no matter how well you guard her. She was pretty well defended and still just made that nice turnaround jump shot.
Final minute of the first half. Got it to Malone again. Couple of defenders on her this time. Sent one of them to the floor.
You know, I'm not going to disagree with the call. What I'm going to disagree is I thought it was about 3 seconds too late. The play happened, and she thought about it. Then she made the call. Joni Taylor not happy at all. But, like I said, Jada Malone working hard, goes hard. Right there may have been a little bit of flop, but the call just gets made very late. That's what I don't like.
Well, Jada Malone's having a terrific afternoon, but there's been 3 calls against her that you might call controversial at this point, and we've seen her upset at all 3 of them at various times. That's a foul. That's a basket. Star Jacobs, speaking of players having a terrific afternoon, Jacobs now has 10, and she'll go to the line trying to complete a 3-point play and get to 11 total on this game.
Ole Miss really doing a nice job sharing the basketball, and that was Madison Scott with that pass down low. Jacobs had thrown it out to her, and she was looking like she was going to go ahead and try to make penetration. Realized her teammate was in better shape because they double-teamed her, got her to the nice pass, and then she was able to finish possible 3-point play.
16-point Ole Miss lead, 20 seconds to go until half. The Aggies obviously can take the final shot if they so choose. Soleil Williams might be a nice candidate for it. She's hit a couple of long-range jumpers. Coulibaly handles it now.
Yeah, 11 turnovers. You don't want this 12th one to turn into an opportunity for Ole Miss to go to the other end.
Ole Miss gets a rebound. They're running out of time. They'll just hold it and take it into half. The 25th ranked Ole Miss Rebels leading by 16 on the road, trying to stay on a roll and win their 6th game in a row. Rebels, they create the turnovers. They usually cash in on them.
Well, and what's the difference in the score? 16 points, 16 points off of turnovers. I mean, it's, yeah, and A&M's got a few too, but yeah, that's the easiest one to point to. 11 turnovers has led to 16 points.
Also, you saw A&M. They did not have a three-point field goal in the first half. Ole Miss did not allow a made three-pointer against Auburn the entire game. Now, Auburn only shot 3 from behind the arc, went 0 for 3. And then the Aggies 0 for 2 in the first half from behind the arc here in College Station. So it's a game and a half now in which an opponent, an SEC opponent, has not made a three-pointer against the Rebels, although that comes with the caveat they haven't shot a whole lot of them.
But I can tell you that's not part of the Aggies offense either.
No.
Early on, Texas A&M had a couple of games when they were over 23-point shots, and Joni Taylor kind of said, I'm not sure we even practiced that many three-pointers and shoot that many in practice. But, going into halftime, Joni Taylor stayed out longer and talked to the 3 officials. She wasn't happy the way that game was called the first half. See if it affects anything in this second half.
Yeah.
Aggies have gone to a 2-3 zone.
And that's worth noting that Joni Taylor, she had that extended conversation with the officiating crew before she went to the locker room at the start of halftime. Lauren Ware the rebound on the Madison Scott miss. Soleil Williams wants a three-point shot. Got that to fall, and Soleil Williams is having a nice afternoon shooting from long range.
That's her strength, and again, trying to find it from the point guard position as opposed to playing the 2 guard, and she's starting to feel that comfort zone.
Williams has 3 made baskets. All of them are from at least 17 feet out, and moments ago, her first three-pointer of the game.
That's 2 possessions in a row. The Aggies stayed zone.
Tried to get the save and the steal, but stepping out of bounds before she could do it. Another look at Soleil Williams on the three-point shot.
Yeah, if you're going to back off of me and give me room, I'm going to go ahead and pull it and knock it down.
You talk about nothing but net. I mean, that almost just didn't even hit net, just straight on through.
And that is a high arcing shot she has.
I mean, that was dead center of the rim. Another one. That's a heat check. This time, no good. A&M within 12. Some early points here in the third quarter. Trying to cut into it. The Rebels had a good first half from behind the arc, but a miss from long range to start this third quarter.
Very similar to what Texas A&M did the other night against Tennessee. Just came out at halftime and it looked like a different ball club. And a lot of it was because they went to some more zone in the second half.
Whistle.
5 count. Janae Kent didn't do anything but stand there for 5 seconds.
So the turnover.
But I know you go, yes, she could have dribbled the basketball, but her teammates have got to move without the ball to give them something.
Trying to get a pick. Really nothing free for Ole Miss right now. Chinu will fire up a three-pointer, and Soleil Williams got the rebound. She's going to the basket. That's a whistle. Blocking foul. Chinu hit the deck.
And Soleil Williams is one of those players that she has a little bit of success, her confidence just goes through the roof. And Joni Taylor will tell you, you can see how good of a game Soleil Williams is having a lot of times. Just look at her face, and she's really been working on her about, hey, have that poker face. You can't let the rest of the team players on the floor, your teammates and the other team, know you're feeling down about yourself.
Soleil Williams, she has the stroke even from the free throw line. Cincinnati, Ohio native. Tahara Jones. And Jacobs fighting for the rebound.
Yeah, unfortunately for Texas A&M, I think Sahara thought they were going to go up and contest the shot. So instead of just going up on that first attempt, she kind of came down, was looking for the double pump instead of just being strong and finishing strong.
Soleil Williams has 10 points now. Her career high is 20. That was against Tennessee last season. Her season high is 17. Williams put that up against Texas Southern just before Christmas. And now you'll have Madison Scott going to the line after that whistle.
Really the first time Ole Miss has gotten off a good look against the zone. The Aggies are really moving better and communicating a whole lot better on this 2-3 zone to start this second half.
Well, it was a strong second half that got the Aggies back in the game in the conference opener on Thursday against Tennessee. Pretty solid start to the third quarter on this Sunday. Joni Taylor trying to get her Aggies back into the game.
Yeah, but I was about to say, Ole Miss is 9 of 10 from the free throw line. Now they're 9 for 11, but still shooting very well. You just don't want to get them on the line.
See what the Aggies did in the second half against Tennessee. They were down by 22 at half, got to within 10 during the second half, ended up losing by 13 against the nationally ranked Vols, and they bring another nationally ranked team into Reed Arena to back it up. Coulibaly, back iron, Madison Scott, the rebound, up the floor comes the Rebels. A little juggle of the basketball there. Jacobs, errant shot with the defense by Coulibaly.
Aisha Coulibaly with 1 point this entire ball game. We've been talking about her second halves. Texas A&M certainly needs it.
Oh, Soleil Williams has been so good from long range. That rattled out. A&M did get on the offensive glass, and we have an Ole Miss foul.
Give credit to Sahara Jones with a nice rebound, and then the nice little pocket pass right there to Janae Kent, who's fouled and gets to the line. Texas A&M hitting that board hard. Soleil Williams coming out of the ball game. Oh no, Aisha Coulibaly's coming out of the ball game. I was wondering who was going to go to point. I'm sure A&M would have moved Sahara Jones.
Coulibaly checks out 0 of 7 from the floor, and you mentioned just that 1 point in this one.
KK Dean has checked in for Ole Miss. Hit some big shots for them in this first half.
And Deans has been hot from behind the arc in the first 2 conference games. Janae Kent can get the Aggies within 10, and she does. A&M trailed by 16 at the break. They're within 10, and we're not quite 4 minutes into the second half. Got loose down low. Foul called, and going to the line is Christine Iwala.
Yeah, Iwala just kind of hip check Lauren Ware, and Lauren fell to the ground. Iwala was wide open. Rebels recognized he got out of the ball. Lauren Ware was able to recover and make the foul, put Iwala on the floor, on the line.
Iwala, just a 50% free throw shooter coming into this contest. And there you go, 50%, 1 of 2.
You know, what's so impressive about Ole Miss to me is when you see a team that relies on their defense so much, you expect them to come out and really press and everything else. But it's been the half-court offense for Ole Miss that just has done such a good job against Texas A&M.
Yeah, I'm with you. You hear about the defense, you think they go out and win every game 55-45, but don't forget they put up 85 against Auburn in the conference opener.
Yeah, but like I said, but still you expect when teams are that good, it's because they're probably going full court, and another foul on Lauren Ware right there in that transition.
That's after the Aggies scored on their end. Lauren Ware.
Nice teamwork here, give and go right there, basically.
Soleil Williams, 12 points, Tap.
Yeah, Soleil Williams is the one that had fed Lauren Ware, gave her an opportunity to make the move, and then she broke off, moved without the basketball, got an easy layup.
Now Soleil Williams will get a breather, and Erica Moon, the SMU transfer, will check in for her. Nice inbound, and Madison Scott an easy layup off of it.
Yeah, Jada Malone was very concerned about with Iwala, and just nobody else saw Scott make that break to the middle.
Talia Parker got to the basket, dropped it in off the glass. And Erica Moon in the passing lane. That is nice hustle. 3-on-2 if the Aggies go quickly. Parker for three. That would have really put a charge into this building if that would have fell. But Ole Miss will come up with it. Would have been put the Aggies within 6. And getting that to fall, going to the basket, Kennedy Todd Williams.
Erica Moon always gives something, a little charge to the Aggies. Unfortunately, they couldn't capitalize there. Had numbers 3-on-2, and Talia Parker chose to take the three-pointer instead of looking to take it a little closer. And then, unfortunately, A&M almost came down with the offensive board, just didn't. And then Ole Miss goes and scores, kind of squelches that little run.
Zahara Jones, that'll fall short, went out of bounds, and that'll take us to break. A&M had a three-pointer moments ago that, had it fallen, would have put them within 6. Ole Miss scored on the other end, and the Rebels are up 11.
Yeah, a native of the Bahamas. We talked about that she's the coach for the national team in the Bahamas, and she's not afraid to go get international players. We mentioned also that all 4 freshmen this year are international players. And again, certainly the one making the biggest impact so far is Sira Chinu.
Mentioned it earlier, Chinu is from Mali, Bamako, Mali, same hometown and country as the Aggies' Aisha Coulibaly. Chinu and Coulibaly played on the national team together this summer. Now, here in the SEC, they play against each other with A&M and Ole Miss on this Sunday. Kendall Hunter in the game, lost the basketball, steal by KK Deans. Ayanna Thompson in the game as well. Rebound tipped up in the air, and Coulibaly controls it quickly up the floor. Talia Parker, no numbers, so she'll back off.
Good decision right there by the freshman.
She'll give it to Erica Moon. Nice cut to the basket by Aisha. Coulibaly, and Moon found her.
Probably the most basic play in basketball, the old pick and roll, but they did it from the middle of the floor and spread the floor very well for the rest of the players, which opened up that big lane for Aisha Coulibaly.
And then Madison Scott got loose and got to the basket. Scott now in double figures.
Walla did a nice job of pinning Jada Malone so she couldn't get off and looked to help. Kendall Hunter with a long three-pointer, run down by Talia Parker.
Ole Miss has Scott with 11, Jacobs with 11, and Chinu with 10. Aggies in double figures, Soleil Williams with 12, and Jada Malone with 10. Here's KK Dean. She can fire up a three-pointer. Instead, found Iwala beneath the basket, but the Aggie defense closed out.
That was Talia Parker, came from that backside, and again, you just saw that athleticism, got up high, knocked that ball away. The Aggies came down with it. It's an 11-point game right now. If I'm Joni Taylor, I'm feeling pretty good, better at least.
There's a 16-point Ole Miss lead at halftime. Moon won't get that to drop high off the glass. She tripped and fell as she's trying to get back on the defensive end. Tripped over Iwala. Everything in order now. Ole Miss in the half-court offense. A&M gets ready to sub in 3. There is one Rebel at the scorer's table, too. Shot clock going to get under 5 here. Offensive foul with 3 seconds left on the shot clock. That's a moving pick on Christine Iwala.
And I'm just going to tell you, some of that's going back to Joni Taylor sticking around for a little bit, talking to the officials. I mean, she put that elbow up, and absolutely. But again, I think it was helped by Joni Taylor sticking around and saying her piece. Aisha Coulibaly on the floor trying to, looks like she may have a knot in her shoe or something. I was never
Contact so hard it untied the laces, huh?
I was never any good at getting knots out.
You weren't the go-to guy for that?
No, not at all.
You'd send them to the next person on the bench.
That's why
Go down the line.
I wear a lot of loafers.
Good decision.
Yeah, thank you. I know my strengths. I know my weaknesses.
Self-aware. It's always a good quality. Sahara Jones on the inbound for A&M. Soleil Williams with a dish. No good on the first attempt from Amira Abdur-Rahim, but her putback is good.
Absolutely. Good penetration. Penetration beats all defenses. Nice job by Soleil Williams and Amira Abdur-Rahim. Great to see her on the floor, but just even better for Texas A&M to see her fight and get that basket.
Too far. That's heading out of bounds. Looks like it's last touched by Ole Miss, and it is A&M basketball.
You know, I said good penetration beats everything. There it is. Soleil Williams, the pocket pass. Unfortunately, doesn't get the assist out of it. But Abdur-Rahim finishes strong, puts the Aggies 9-point ball game.
A&M hasn't been within 9 since the first quarter. Good defense by the Rebels caused an errant shot by Coulibaly, and they want a 3. That's off the glass. Don't think it was called, but the lucky bank, it will drop.
But you know, Will, it's still worth 3 points.
It is. Counts all the same. That was from Tamia Sadler. Well, the Aggies could have got within 7.
Yeah.
And then the errant, the 3-pointer that goes in off the glass. They're back down 12 again. Sahara Jones. Loose ball on the rebound. Sadler's got it. She wants a 3 again. That's too far. And that ends the third quarter. 12-point Ole Miss lead. And it helped late in the third quarter that the bank was in.
Yeah, that's an angle. I don't think you mean to bank that ball in from that far, but it helped, and it continued to get Ole Miss that 12-point lead over the Aggies going into the fourth quarter. Score off of them.
In that third quarter, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Third quarter, A&M only 7.5 points behind the average of what Ole Miss is doing. 12 points going into the fourth quarter. If the Aggies continue to play how they have been, this could be a nice little finish to this ball game.
Well, I think of 2 different points in the third quarter, though. The Aggies were down 9, missed a 3-pointer, could have got them within 6. Ole Miss went right down and scored to stretch the lead back out to 11. Nice putback. Good hustle from Janae Kent. And then late in the third quarter there, the Aggies could have got within 7, missed a shot. Ole Miss banked in an errant 3, and that's where we are to start the fourth quarter. It was a 12-point Rebel lead. two important stanzas there in the third quarter. But the Aggies get the first two of the fourth quarter, and they get a steal here. Almost gave it back. That's tipped out of bounds by Jacobs.
You know, Will, I've said this several times. Penetration kills almost any kind of defense. Janae Kent gets into the lane for a shot, misses it, but was able to follow up with her own shot.
Traveling call on Abdur-Rahim.
This is, let's give it Texas A&M credit. This 2-3 zone has really kind of stymied Ole Miss a little bit. It certainly did in that third quarter.
A&M trailed by 16. They go to the 2-3 zone here in the second half. They got within as many as 9. They're within 10 here. They just can't break that seal to get this thing within 6 or 7 points. And now they have another opportunity. Sahara Jones, 3 off the mark. Wide right and a little too far.
I don't mind that shot, you know, because you get it in transition. You're open right there. But there's been other times they haven't made some wise decisions in transition.
Williams, a three-pointer, back iron. Jada Malone, a nice rebound. And, I mean, she has been aggressive in the paint all afternoon. She's had some calls not go her way. This one, I think, correctly called a tie ball.
And I'll tell you this. You got to give Ole Miss a lot of credit because A&M, I don't think, has come down with a lot of clean rebounds. Almost all of them have been truly contested.
So a possession arrow pointed toward Ole Miss. Scott, back iron, rebound, Sahara Jones. Soleil Williams had a nice afternoon, lost that out of bounds, but there was contact.
They had the foul, yeah.
Foul called.
Put Soleil Williams on the line. Coach Joe, I'm not sure she agrees with that. Kind of has that look of, are you kidding me?
KK Deans is going to check in for Ole Miss for Sierra Chino.
That's her fourth personal, so yeah, she wants to save her freshman star. Probably
so foul trouble for Chino. Soleil Williams leads the Aggies with 12 points. Make it 13. Williams now 4 of 5 from the free throw line. She's 4 of 7 from the field, and a lot of those from long range. Couple of long-range two-pointers, and she's dropped in a 3 as well. So now another free throw, and the Aggies within 8 again. And this is where it's been tough on A&M Tap to get within 7, get within 6. And here they go, down 8. Ole Miss has usually had an answer when the Aggies have gotten this close. This time they throw it away. A&M basketball.
And now you might see Ole Miss extend their defense. Looks like they were going to come and put a little more pressure on the ball.
Turnovers starting to even out just a bit now. It's not usually what you get in an Ole Miss game. They ratchet up that defense and enjoy a turnover margin advantage. Right now, Ole Miss just a +3. Tried to get it to Jada Malone. That went out of bounds, but last touch by Ole Miss.
Yeah, Carissa Richardson just into the ball game, thought she was doing something good, tried to come up with that pass. If she lets it go, it's Ole Miss basketball.
Coulibaly for 3 from the baseline, got it. The Aggies get within 5. Rita comes alive. Sadler for 3. Back ironed it. The Aggies can let that go out of bounds, but a nice hustle play by Jacobs. She was not able to save it, though, in front of the Ole Miss bench. It goes to A&M.
This Ole Miss team goes after every loose basketball. Aisha Coulibaly from the corner again. We've talked about that's only her 6th point, but we've said this is when she usually comes alive for Texas A&M, is this second half and when it means the most.
Now they get it to Coulibaly again. With Kennedy Todd Williams on defense. Coulibaly going to the basket. Jada Malone got it to drop. Malone is 6 of 6 today with 12 points. A&M within 3.
Coach Yo going to call a timeout, and there's a little pushing going on right there. We're going to have an intentional foul, I think, on Jasmine Starr when we come back.
A&M was down 16 at the half. They're down 3 as we go to break with 6+ minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
We're looking at the officials, watching a review at the end of that, right before we went to timeout. Star Jacobs got and Janae Kent got barely tied up when they're running down the floor. You can kind of see nothing there, and Star Jacobs just flat out pushes Janae Kent in the back. The officials see it. We were already going to timeout because Ole Miss called it, but they were reviewing it. I can't believe they won't call that an intentional foul. We haven't heard anything nor an announcement. Maybe they're going to wait till they come back from. Since we're back, they'll go ahead and make that call. But again, this could be a big break for the Aggies too, because that will give. Well, it's only going to be Jacobs' first foul, it appears. I think we got the thumbs up to say it was intentional.
And just before the break, we mentioned that Ole Miss had a 16-point lead that has been whittled down to 3.
The previous call on the floor of an intentional foul against Ole Miss, number 7, is confirmed. A&M will have 2 shots and the ball at half court.
There's the official announcement, and that will be met with approval from the Reed Arena crowd. So free throws coming, and the Aggies can get even closer. Janae Kent, who was pushed in the back by Jacobs, will go to the line.
Yeah, Jacobs' teammates still trying to calm her down. You can tell she's still a little frustrated. I think a lot of that frustration, she really in that first half had a good first half for Ole Miss. This zone has really just stopped her, and I think it's not coming as easy, and you could see some frustration came out in that foul.
Kent from Oak Forest, Illinois, the LSU transfer, misses the first. We're talking about Jacobs with that intentional foul. Jacobs had 11 points in the first half, none in the second. As Tapp has mentioned, the Aggies switched to that zone, very effective, and Kent missed them both. You can see she kind of puts her hands to her forehead in dismay, but it is now Texas A&M basketball.
Yeah, it's still the Aggies ball, which is most important here too. Come down, and if you're Joni Taylor, they usually come out of a timeout running a particular set and are usually successful out of it.
Soleil Williams, that'll be out of bounds.
Jacobs and Jada Malone got tied up a little bit. Both of them working hard. The official, both of them kind of look at the official. Official say, hey, y'all were doing it to each other. Play on.
And remember, right now, with 6 minutes to go, Ole Miss's sensational freshman, Sarah Chinu, is on the bench with 4 fouls. Yolette McPhee-McEwen will have to make a decision when to put her back in. The Rebels have gone cold from the floor.
Talked about Soleil Williams feeling it earlier. Joni Williams trying to clear out, just run a 2-man game with her and Jada Malone, nothing open.
Janae Kent, she missed the free throw, said I'll take 3, and she calls tie game with 5 to go.
And this crowd's into this ball game. There's still going to be another timeout, media timeout in this quarter.
Madison Scott whistle as she got to the basket. And it appears that foul will be on Sahara Jones.
She was coming over to help Jada Malone right there, and I think maybe Ole Miss has realized if we isolate Madison Scott on Jada Malone, she can take her off the dribble, and then she'll have to have some help, and that's exactly what happened right there.
Scott now with 12 points. She leads all Rebels in scoring. Clutch with a couple of free throws. Madison Scott. She's 3 of 4 from the line today. Pressure out of bounds. Ole Miss basketball.
Soleil Williams tried to say it did it, but all of a sudden we talked about we haven't seen the full court press off of a made free throw. All of a sudden the ball went in, trapped it, couldn't get the ball back to Sahara Jones. Ole Miss basketball.
KK Deans, she's been hot from long range recently. Aisha Coulibaly got the rebound on her miss this time.
If Deans would have made that, I think Joni Taylor would have called a quick timeout to make sure Ole Miss didn't get any kind of momentum going.
Still a 2-point Rebel lead. Jada Malone, what an afternoon for Jada Malone. It continues as she gets on the offensive glass.
Again, she just works hard, knows what she can do. I said this to start the game when she first came in, the best shape of her life, and she's playing the best basketball she's played.
A&M has erased a 16-point halftime deficit. Madison Scott miss, offensive rebound and a whistle. This foul is on the floor, and that may be on Sahara Jones as well.
That's going to be her third, but the Aggies have tied the basketball game. Janae Kent with the long three-pointer after the missed two, but this crowd got ignited here at Reed Arena, tied up with 4:15 left in this ball game.
Will Johnson, Tap Bentz back with you. 4:15 to go. The game is tied at 54. And Tap, it is another strong second half for A&M on Thursday against Tennessee. They were down 22 at the break. They got within 10 in that game. Couldn't come all the way back. Down 16 at the break today, Tap. The Aggies have it evened up.
But, you know, I think I may have said it. You just felt like A&M wasn't out of this ball game. You just didn't feel like they were in sync. You gave a lot of credit to Ole Miss. But Joni Taylor going to that zone has really made a big difference. And it's kind of just Ole Miss is just sitting there throwing the ball around like Texas A&M was in that first half. So, again, credit the coaching staff for making that switch. But these Aggies have believed in themselves that they're never out of it. But I'm sure Joni Taylor wants to figure out how she can start these ball games like they start the third quarters.
So tied at 54, down the stretch we go. Gonna get an inbound from Ole Miss and Kennedy Todd Williams as we come back.
And remember, they got a wide open look on their last inbounds. A&M much better job this time. Aggies went back man here.
That was going to call it a block shot, but ends up as a foul, I believe, on Soleil Williams.
Yeah, they're going to get her. I think the Aggies, again, Ole Miss was probably prepared for the Aggies to stay in that 2-3 zone, switch back to man coming out of that timeout just to give a different look. And like you said, everybody here thought it was a pretty clean block. The officials said no, she got her on the elbow.
Well, Kennedy Todd Williams was perfect on 11 trips to the line against Auburn. She's missed a couple from the free throw line today, now 3 of 5. Missed both on this trip. Coulibaly rakes away the rebound, and Janae Kent wasn't looking for a moment on the pass up the floor, but she ends up corralling it. The Aggies on offense. A&M looking for their first win over a ranked opponent since 2021. Didn't feel like you would be saying that with a proud program like the Aggies.
Shot clock down to 5.
Williams off balance. That didn't hit rim, and the shot clock ran out.
Coulibaly on the ground, grimacing, but I think she's going to be okay. She's tough.
Yeah, she'll get some help up from Madison Scott.
If you've watched the Aggies, you know Aisha Coulibaly, Sahara Jones love to hit the floor. I mean, I love it, but they do it.
Well, Madison Scott helping Aisha Coulibaly up. That's two players that's been in the SEC for a while. I would imagine quite a bit of respect for one another. Because remember, Coulibaly, even before A&M, was an all-conference player at Auburn.
Not a bad. That's a kind of a veteran play right there. Take a little extra time, let everybody get their breath without having to call a timeout.
Yeah, because it could be a mad dash to the finish here.
Back to the 2-3 zone.
Got a defender in the air. A little floater is no good. Scott got the offensive rebound. Got it again. And now going to the line to shoot two. Nice effort below the rim. Madison Scott.
You know, I think there's 10 players on the floor. I think 8 of them were trying to go after that rebound right there. There were 4 blue jerseys, I think 4 white jerseys. Again, everybody going hard, knowing how important every possession is. There's certainly 4 white jerseys right there. That was a big old congestion right there underneath the basket.
I think it was Janae Kent who they got with the foul. Scott 3 of 4 from the free throw line today. And Ole Miss has missed their last 3 free throws. They were hot as a team.
They were 9 of 10 in that first half at one time. Then went 9 for 11, I believe, and now 12 of 18.
Another one coming for Scott. This will drop, and it's a Rebel 1-point lead. We will likely go under 3 minutes left in the game with this Aggie possession. Soleil Williams, she has 14 points in this one. Gets a pick from Jada Malone, who also has 14 points. Now Coulibaly gives it back to Williams. Williams, a 3-point shot. Got it, nothing but the bottom of the net, and A&M has a 2-point lead.
Again, I'm getting ready to say they're standing on top of each other, and really all they were doing is Soleil Williams was trying to use a screen so she could get some space and get a shot.
Scott can't finish. Malone got the rebound. Whistle as she did. It almost looks like Malone agrees this time.
I think Malone was saying thank you. If you go back and look, I think you could read her lips. But again, here they are just kind of standing on top of each other. But Soleil just used Aisha Coulibaly for a screen. Came off the dribble at the screen and was able to knock down that 3-point shot.
Soleil Williams, the 17 points, ties a season high. She had 17 against Texas Southern almost a month ago. Her career high is 20. She did that against Tennessee last year. But 17,
Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken,
up in Knoxville. Soleil Williams.
Both teams have all 4 timeouts.
Shot clock is low. Give it to Williams. She'll fire up another one. That's off the front iron. Jones nearly got the rebound. Little 4-on-3 here for the Rebels. Todd Williams going to the basket, cut off. Trying to get a steal is Soleil Williams. Got the ball to the floor, but Jacobs takes care of it. That'll miss. A fight for the rebound. It's loose. It's out of bounds, and it was last touched by Ole Miss despite the hustle from Jacobs. Reed is roaring. And the Aggies have a 2-point lead with under 2 minutes to play.
And the Aggies are going to take a full timeout right here. Joni Taylor, I think, more importantly, just wants to give her team a breath and make sure they come out and get a great possession here with this 2-point lead. One of the reasons they have a 2-point lead right now is to play a sophomore, Soleil Williams, knocking down some of these big shots from the outside. That was a little mid-range for her right there. Steps in off the screen. The step back's really been working well for her today, hitting nothing but net.
Soleil Williams, the 17 points. She's 5 of 11 from the floor. 2 of her made shots are 3-pointers. And she has even been solid from the free throw line.
Fight, and it's been different players for Texas A&M. You know, we talked about Coulibaly and Sahara Jones. Well, you look up and it's Jada Malone and Soleil Williams today that are the leading scorers. So who do you focus on if you're playing Texas A&M?
And we mentioned it earlier, Ole Miss is kind of in that foreign territory. They came into this game with 5 wins in a row, and they were all blowouts. They didn't have to fight for one for the last month. Back on December 5th when they lost to NC State on the road is the last time a game was somewhat close down the stretch, but they've been blowing everybody out since arriving in College Station. That includes Auburn on Thursday. But now a steal going to the other end. Layup is good, and that's Chinu who's back in the game.
They called a travel on her.
That'll wipe it out.
Yeah, and again, they've been allowing that European step to kind of be used. No, but she did. I thought she had possession of the ball and ended up with an extra step.
Chinu is back in the game with 4 fouls, the freshman. She has 10 points. They go under a minute left with this A&M possession. Janae Kent, she has a big 3-pointer in this 4th quarter. Give it to Coulibaly. Floater, got it to drop. 2-possession Aggie lead, 53 ticks to go.
Both teams will be shooting the bonus, and there's a timeout on Ole Miss. Both teams have 4. No, excuse me. A&M has 4. They don't have a foul to give. Ole Miss has 1 to give, excuse me. They're at 3-team fouls. So next foul by the Aggies will put the Rebels at the line. The Rebels in a situation can give a foul before A&M is shooting. But Aisha Coulibaly, that's why we talked about her at the beginning of the ball game. When it's needed most, that's who the Aggies seem to get ready for this incredibly tough conference.
Yeah, it's just ranked opponent after ranked opponent for the Aggies to start league play. Here's the Ole Miss inbound. Reed starts to roar once more. KK Deans with it. She puts up a 3-pointer, and was she fouled? And is she going to the line to shoot 3? She is. Janae Kent the foul. There was a bump before she put the shot up. I wasn't sure if the whistle would be on that. See right there, a few players got tangled up, but a foul is called on that 3-point attempt by KK Deans.
I'm not sure why they're going back to the maybe to see if she was it was on the line or behind the line, whether she's going to shoot 2 or 3. I'm not going to say I'm not going to disagree with what you said about when the foul occurred. Thought it was on the floor to begin with, but either way, they would have been back to the line shooting 2 because of the thing. They look quick. It's still a 3-point.
Call on the floor on a foul on a 3-point shot is confirmed at replay.
So it is 3 coming for KK Deans. Deans has not been to the free throw line today. So these will be her first shots from the stripe.
Now this Texas A&M needs to pay attention, because if this 3rd free throw is made, Ole Miss has been getting a lot more aggressive on that full court trap after a made free throw, after the last made free throw. So be prepared for the pressure to come.
Now Deans is for the season an 89% free throw shooter, 23 of 26, and she buries the first of 3. Two for 2 and 1 more coming.
There is a 13-second differential between shot clock and game clock. So Ole Miss, I don't think, will foul right away.
All 3 for KK Deans. The Rebels within 1.
And they make a little offensive, defensive substitution. Deans going right back out. Todd Williams back into the ball game to play some defense.
Pressure. And the inbound to Williams. Ole Miss backs off.
Joni Taylor going to call a timeout.
You can get this to a 3-point game with a bucket. inside the arc, obviously.
Yeah.
What do you call here to try to get those points?
Again, as I said, you've been looking, Jada Malone and Soleil Williams, but I'd put them on one side, swing some Janae Kent through on the baseline, and then run Aisha Coulibaly up to that elbow and try to clear out that side and let Aisha Coulibaly drive to the basket is what I would do.
So here comes the inbound from Sahara Jones, and it's to Soleil Williams. Jones has it back. Still time on the shot clock for Soleil Williams. Lost the ball, got it back. Now the shot clock runs low. Kent a three, front iron. Almost an offensive rebound by Jada Malone. Loose ball, the Aggies took it away. Now you have to foul.
I think Jada Malone knocked that ball away from behind.
Todd Williams,
look at that, yeah.
Todd Williams fouled Coulibaly to stop the clock at 7.4.
Again, it was a shot that Janae Kent kind of had to pick up. Jada Malone almost went down with it. Todd Williams is coming. She's looking at the official, and Jada said, I'll just knock the ball out of your hand while you argue with the official.
So that foul was not the bonus yet. It was Ole Miss's fourth foul of the quarter.
Was I not? Oh, that's right. I said they had one to give.
And here's the fifth. It's Sadler fouling Williams,
who has been very good at the line.
5 of 6 today. Soleil Williams from the charity stripe. So Ole Miss is going to have a chance to at least tie, I would say, with the final shot. Now a 2-point shot could tie it if Soleil Williams makes this.
Wouldn't be surprised if Joni Taylor calls the timeout on a make. Then that takes away Ole Miss being able to move it up the floor.
So for the Rebels, it's 2 to tie, a 3 to win it.
It's going to be a 30-second. They will get it up to half court.
Now these huddles, defensively, if you're the Aggies, on the offense, if you're Ole Miss, these get tense. This decides the game essentially right here.
Yeah, I was sitting back trying to think, and so if I'm Coach Yo right now, she hadn't shot the ball well right now, but I think I might get that ball to Madison Scott and see what she can create in the middle. They've kind of been trying to live and die against that zone, from the perimeter, but a couple of times they got it to Madison Scott. She was able to get there, force the Aggie defense to come over. Remember, Ole Miss doesn't have to shoot a three-pointer. They can shoot the two and take it to overtime at this point.
Joni Taylor and the Aggies looking for a win that could really boost their season. It was tough in the non-conference, lost to Tennessee despite a valiant second-half effort on Thursday, and they try to get into the win column here in conference play on this Sunday. Ole Miss, ranked 25th in the country, have won 5 in a row, all of them easily. And here we go. 6 seconds left. Trouble on the inbound.
They called it. Ole Miss got the timeout before the 5 count. Texas A&M had put Lauren Ware in the game just to get on the ball, and that height, I think, was a big deterrent to Ole Miss getting that ball in right there. Coach Yo right in front of her called that timeout, I think, at about 4.5. You can see Lauren Ware using those arms, jumping, getting everybody. Good job by Aisha Coulibaly, staying with Deans, not giving her any break.
2 to tie, 3 to take the lead. Aggies back out on defense with Jones, Malone, Coulibaly, Kent, and Ware. Ware will guard the inbound again.
Aggies, they were man last time. They're man this time. Switching on all screens, I would imagine.
Ole Miss the inbound. Once more. Sadler trying to drive. Floater. No! Rebound Kent! And the Aggies will knock off the ranked Rebels on this Sunday at home. 60-58.
Joni Taylor and this coaching staff just changed this whole game when they went 2-3. It seemed like the whole team got excited. They played better defense, moved their feet, they communicated. They started running their offense a whole lot better. But again, this is 2 games in a row the Aggies have had to come from behind, but they got it done, and that's what you can be happy about if you're an Aggie fan.
Ole Miss had a chance, Tap, with 6 seconds to go. Got the drive from Sadler. Here it is.
Yeah, Ole Miss can't complain. They got the shot they wanted. They got the ball going to the hole. Sadler got a good look, but credit the Aggie defense for coming over from behind and making the shot much tougher than could have been.